one of the most important concept, that is read and write operation. Guys, these are very important operation. These are the granular level, what happens internally, how internally the reading happens, how is the end-to-end flow of reading and writing. Understand this carefully. To read a file from HDFS, client needs to interact with the name node, as name node is the centerpiece which stores the metadata. Name node provides the address of slaves where the file is actually stored. Now my client will directly interact with the respective data nodes to read the file. My client will interact directly with the respective data nodes to read the file. Guys, reading is done directly from the data node, no need of name node in between. Now guys, you will ask me that anybody can go to data node and read the data. No, name node also provides a token to the client which it shows to the data node for authentication. It's like an ID card. Like whenever you enter into your office premises, you need to show your iCard. Similar to that, a token iCard will be provided by the name node that client will show to data nodes, and then data node will provide the access. Let's understand this particular reading operation via the actual flow, this particular diagram. Let's understand this in two iterations. The very first step here is, this is my client node. Now don't look inside client node, don't look inside the JVM, just understand from the client node perspective. This is my client node, that is my client machine. To read a file, what it need to do? Firstly, it need to interact with the name node. Name node will check for the access rights, whether this particular user is authorized to read that file or not. Name node will check for the access rights. If client can read that file, if client is allowed to read that file, what name node will give? Name node will give you the locations that go on slave 2, read block 1, go on slave 10, read block 2, go on slave 1, read block 3, and so on. First step is to interact with the name node, and second step, directly go to the data node and read the files. Guys, reading is done in parallel, so my reading is also very efficient. Obvious question, why my reading is not done via the name node? Why my name node is not the single point of communication? Why this doesn't happen, that all my data flow via the name node? The answer is, if we implement reading via name node, my name node will become the bottleneck. Guys, we are talking the data in the range of petabytes. Thousands of nodes are there. How much data name node can take from the data node and give to the client? No. That's why guys, your read operation itself is distributed. I am reading the data directly from the data node. And suppose one client is reading from the disk number 1, second client is reading from the disk number 2. I am reading one block from the data node 1, I am reading another block from the data node 3. Parallelly, thousands of clients are there, some are reading, some are writing, some are processing. If all this process will go via the name node will become the bottleneck. One user is reading suppose 10 TB of data, name node is busy in serving that user's data. What about rest of 1000 users? Now let's drill down to one more level and understand at the API level what happens. My end user is sitting here and he is working on this node, on this machine. This is my machine, client node. So guys, on the client node we are having a JVM, a Java virtual machine will be running, whether you run a command or whether you run a program, Java program. At the backend, my JVM will start, and the very first API, the very first class that will come into the picture is my client, HDFS client class. That will come into the picture. It will send the open request to my distributed file system API. All these are, guys, at the API level. These are the methods, classes inside the inside the Hadoop setup. Now my file system API will interact directly with the name node. It will request to get the block location. Name node will check for the authentication. If the user is authorized, then name node will provide the block locations. Now my client will send the read request to input stream. This is the standard Java API. Here we have FS data input stream specific for Hadoop. Input stream, we are aware that is used for the reading purpose. So FS data input stream, that will start directly reading the data from the data nodes. Now, guys, at any point of time, suppose there are possibilities. At any point of time while reading the data, my data node goes down, server is down, power off. Then what will happen? No issues. My client will complain to the name node about the same. Name node will check, oh yes, this particular slave stopped sending me heartbeat. Name node will provide the location of another slave. Suppose the block one that was available here, the same block one was available here as well. So name node will provide another location to read the data from another data node where the same block is available. So guys, that's it about the file read operation.